So I wanted to put this little short video in the beginning of the tutorial because I feel kind of dumb, I guess. Um, at the end of the video, you will see I made a big boo-boo, but it has nothing to do with the design itself or how the design is done. Everything in the instructions with the design is perfectly 100% correct, but what I've been doing for a very long time, which has worked for me, screwed me up big time. So when I'm making bags and I have to cut the stabilizer um, away from where the zipper is, I usually use my seam ripper because it's really simple, and I just put it through. And somehow today I got a hold of the zipper, and I did not realize it until I completely finished the bag and I was turning it right side out. So you'll see at the end of the video that there is the zipper is completely torn, but it's nothing to do with the design itself. And I just wanted to stress that to you. That is something I did, a mistake on my part, which I'm never going to do anymore. I've been doing it for a long time and it's never given me a problem until today. But I guess today I hit the zipper, didn't realize it, and I took that seam ripper and just went from beginning to end to get that stabilizer out and hit the zipper and didn't even realize it. So I cut the whole zipper. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up for when you see that at the end. So I didn't want you to think that it was anything wrong with her design or anything, because it's not. It's just something that I've learned that I will never do again. I will never use a seam ripper again just to take the stabilizer out. So on to the tutorial. Hi everybody, this is Kim with Kim's Vinyl Expressions. Today we're going to stitch out a 3-zipper bag from a Creative Medley. It's something like it's almost what I did with the 2-zipper design, and instead of being vertical, this one's going to be horizontal. And it has 3 pockets instead of 2. And I'm just going to show this to you. I haven't I made a little boo-boo, so I have to fix it. But this is what it kind of looks like. It's actually upside down. So there's three zippers. That's what it'll look like. You have 3 zippers. You have a pocket on the top, pocket on the bottom, and a big pocket in the middle. It's kind of neat, pretty decent size. Put makeup in the small pockets, maybe some lipstick or eyeliners, and in the other pocket you can put makeup, money, pretty much whatever you want. It's a good size. It is almost it's 9.5 inches long by 9.5 inches tall, so it's pretty good size. I like it. You're gonna need, I would recommend to pre-cut all of your material, because this one takes a lot of material, different sizes for different pockets and liners and everything else. You'll need 3 zippers, 2 D hooks if you are going to make a strap for it. This one doesn't have a strap. I didn't put connectors on here for a strap because I didn't want it, but the video will also show how to do that as well. And you'll need some 7/8 ribbon, because that's gonna be part of the design. And whatever material you're gonna use, all in the instructions, all the sizes of the material that you need are there, so you can pre-cut it, just like I did with the 2-zipper one. And there will be a photo to show you all of the pieces. Okay, so now that you've seen all the material that was pre-cut and labeled and all the everything that you needed, I'm gonna go ahead and iron my interfacing onto the fabric, and I thought I would just do that during the video. It's really quick, easy. I use the Pelon SF101 is what I use. And I like it. It works really well. And if you cut a little extra, it's not a big deal because it can be cut off later. And I got to get another table in here to iron on. I just not long ago stained this, and I don't want to ruin it. It still smells when I iron on it. All right, and you just want to make sure that that's on there good. And this iron that I have is old, but it's really, really good. And just put it on the way your manufacturer instructions are. Mine says just do the corners, but I do the whole thing. I think that's what it said on there. Anyway, so go ahead and do that. And then, and that's what you'll do for these three pieces. The bottom outer, 12 by 2.5, the top outer, 12 by 2.5, and the back outer 12 by 8. So once you get all that pre-cut, you're just going to iron on your interfacing to these three fabrics only. You're not going to do anything to the other ones. So I just wanted to show you that this design is 33 steps. Without all the extras you have to do. It takes about 17 minutes to totally stitch out, and it's a little under 9,000 stitches, which is not that bad. And I know it looks really complicated on the screen, but they're pretty easy to make. So what I'm going to do, what I say in all my videos, I'm going to actually just bypass the actual stitching, but I will tell you what I'm doing. So the first step that we're going to do is the placement stitch for the bag. And then the second step is the placement stitch for the zipper. And I'll go ahead and get that done, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I did I'm going to show you here because I used a darker thread. So I thought that you can see the outline. Because I'm not going to be doing anything in this color. I'm going to probably most likely do it in white. And if I did the white, you wouldn't have been able to see it. So as you can see, here's the outline for the bag all the way around. And then here is the placement stitches for the zipper. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put your zipper between the placement stitch. You want to make sure that the opening for your zipper is on the left, and you want to make sure it's hanging out of the placement stitch. So you want to make sure that your pull is outside the line here, and the metal part on here is outside of the line here as well. And if you've made zipper bags before, I'm sure you know the process. I did a video on the 2-zipper one a few weeks ago, and this one's going to be the 3, so it should be pretty good, pretty much the same. It's just some added stuff on this one. But I'm going to go ahead, and I usually use painter's tape to hold everything down. Yes, I use a lot of tape for some reason. This is Duck brand, and it stinks. It doesn't stick all that well. It always comes off. So I'm just going to put that there to hold it down, and then I'm going to put it back onto the machine, and it's going to do a tack down stitch, and we'll get that done and be right back. Okay, so we got the zipper tacked down. You probably can't see the stitching because I've done it in white. So what we're going to do is, this is the this here is going to be the bottom edge of the zipper. It's the way that the design is, so I don't want you to think that this is the bottom, because this, I made a mistake on here twice and had to redo this video because I made a mistake. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn it, turn the hoop over, and you're going to take your bottom lining, the 12.5 by 2, and we're going to attach it to the bottom edge of the zipper. So, and you want to do it face down, and you want to make sure that when you do it, you're covering the entire zipper. So it's going to go like that. Oop. We're going to do it. Before I did it like that and it was incorrect. So we're going to do it like that. And you're just going to line it up with the bottom. I mean, yeah, that is the bottom of your zipper. And it's okay if you have some fabric that is longer than what you actually need per the instructions, because just have extra. I always cut extra anyway. And you can either use painter's tape or pins to tack it down. I use these flathead pins. They're better than, for tacking stuff on the bottom, they're better than the ones with the ball, because the ball scratches up the machine and it could get hung up. Well, these are just really flat and they stay flush, which is really good. I really like these. So I use these a lot when I have to tack something down on the bottom of my hoop. Okay. And actually that moved just a little bit, so I need to put it back up. And I pre-cut everything, and for some reason I had a problem cutting, so some of my fabric is not straight, but it's still more than enough than what I need, so I'm not really worried about it. And then we'll go ahead and tack this one down. Oop. You just want to make sure that you're lining it up, because yeah, that's going to go that way. And then for then you're going to turn it around to the front, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to get your bottom outer piece, 12 by 2.5, and you're going to pretty much do the same thing that you did on the back. The only difference is that if you have, which I made a mistake on, is if you have, if you're going to use fabric that has a design on it, make sure that when you line it up with the bottom of the zipper, that you line it up, that you put it down, because so that it's facing up like that, because later we're going to fold it up. So especially if you're doing a design, you want to make sure that the design is in the right position or it won't look good. So I'm going to do the same thing we did and before. I'm going to take it and line it up with the edge of the zipper, and for this I'm going to use pins on this instead of painter's tape. For some reason I use Duck painter's tape, which is supposed to be a very good brand, but sometimes it just doesn't even stick, and I don't know why. And I used to use a lot of tape, but I'm getting ready not to anymore. Okay. Get that tacked down. And then I usually just make sure, oop, that's why I make sure. After I pin down, why isn't it going in there? Okay, this is weird. Can't even, I feel like I have no feeling in my finger today. There we go. All right. So you want to make sure that it is lined up with the zipper, and mine moved, so I have to move it after all that. All right, that's fine for me. Why does it keep moving? All right, one more time. I may just tape it down. Let me just do that right there. Keeps moving the other way, and I want to make sure that it doesn't, because I don't want it to move, and then when I go to fold it up later, there's not enough fabric to do what needs to be done. So I am just going to do that. Now I know it's in place, and now I'll tack it, pin it back down. But sometimes painter's tape will not stick. And I think with the painter's tape, if your fingers touch it, I noticed that if I only touch the ends of the tape with my finger, the ends is what not sticks. So I don't know. But okay, now it's perfect. Okay, so now that we have this lined up with the zipper, I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the machine, and then we're going to run the tack down stitch, which will attach the bottom outer piece and your, see, and you got to check that. Always, everything's coming out. Always make sure to check that your fabric has not moved or something, because if you don't check it, you'll just waste it, and then or you'll have to redo it, and I don't think anybody wants to do that. All right, so got that one back in place. Now I have to do this one again. For some reason my fingers are very tingly today, and I'm having a problem feeling stuff on this hand. This is I'm a lefty, so that's important for me. I'm just going to use tape. And I have very bad carpal tunnel, so I'm thinking that that's my issue today. All right, so now, like I said, we're going to go ahead and put this back into the machine, run the tack down stitch. It's going to attach your front, bottom, and your bottom liner to the zipper. And I'll finish that and be right back. Okay, so finally got the bottom outer and the bottom lining tacked down. I know it looks a little rough, but my machine has been giving me some issues today, and I broke about 3 needles just to do this part. I'm not really sure why, but finally got it done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the top bottom outer piece, and we're going to pull this down as far as you can, and then tack it, pin it down, or whatever you want to do here, like this. And I try to do it as close to the edge of the hoop as I can, so the next step doesn't interfere with the pins, but that's a little too loose, so I'm gonna do the middle first. I think the middle should actually just be fine, but it depends on what type of hoop you have as well. Everybody's hoop is different too, depending on your machine, and I have a Brother NQ 1600 that I'm using. So I'm just gonna do this one pin up there, and I think that should be okay. So the next step, what you're gonna do is the top stitching. The top stitching is a line that is going to go like that, and it's just gonna tack that down. And then the next step will baste your fabric. Okay, so now that we got this pinned into place, what we're gonna do is the next step, I believe, is color number 5. It's gonna do a top stitching right here at the top of the zipper, so it'll hold the fabric into place. And it'll also do the next step will be another stitch going around that will hold the fabric into place. So you can do the motif on step 7. So the next step, like I said, was gonna just do a line here, and then the next step is gonna do around here. And I'll show you that when that's done. Okay, so this is just a little edit since I made a mistake before. After you pin this into place, step 5 is going to be the line here that'll hold this down, and then step 6 will do all around here. And I think I messed that up before. So now that we got this done, we're gonna go to step 7, and I'm actually going to move this 2 ahead because I made a mistake, so I had to go back. So step 7 is gonna be this right here, this little motif design here. So I'll go ahead and get that stitched out, and we'll be right back. All right, so now that we got that stitching done, you see that? I have to put it up close to the camera because I'm using white. So now that that's done, we're going to get ready for step number 8. So you're going to turn your hoop over, and I already took the pins out, but what you're going to do is you're going to take this liner and you're going to fold it up as tight as you can. That's what I do anyway. And you want to pin this into place so it stays out of the way for the rest that we need to do. So we got that out of the way, and then we're going to take your bottom back pocket, the 12 by 2 3/4, and we're going to line that up with this edge of the zipper, basically the same way you did the other one. And you're going to do it that way and make sure that it's covering the zipper. And you want to do it on the line like we did before, same way. And we're going to tack that into place. And hopefully I won't have any problems this time. I'm not really sure what was going on earlier with my machine. And this is just another reason why I don't like to do live videos, in case there are issues that I can't control, because I get embarrassed too easy. And if I started yelling before because I broke like 3 needles just to get 1 stitching done. I took my machine apart, not really sure what happened. So, where is my other pin? Anyway, it don't matter. So we're going to, like I said, tack this down, and you're going to line it up with the zipper just like we did before. And I'm a little too high. White on white doesn't, I can't see too well. So we're just gonna that, and it looks slanted, but it's really not, I promise you. I know right now, because I already messed up and I'm not gonna, I can't fix it, I don't think. But my inside liners are probably not going to be right side up. And there's nothing that I can do about that. I realized it after the fact, so I'm just gonna go along with it. I already ironed these, but these just Let me do another quick iron on it. It just curled back up for some reason. And I'm not going to have any problem ironing on my little table over here. It's just wood, it's stained, and it has a triple clear coat on it. So I can pretty much do anything I want. It's still a little wet, but that doesn't matter. It does not affect anything that I do. I do it all the time. So again, line this up. Make sure it's lined up with the bottom of the zipper. I should have used a different color zipper because I'm like straining my eyes here. Ay, jeez. Nothing wants to go easy for me today. I rarely have any issues, but today is just one of those days, I guess. Let me see something. I'll hold this up to the light right quick. I feel like I'm blind and I'm really not, I promise. But there we go. So we'll go ahead and pin this into place. Make sure that don't move, or it didn't move. All right, so now that we got that pinned into place, what we're going to do is we're going to take it back to the machine. We're not going to, there is not going to be a top fabric at this time. We're going to go ahead and get that, that one tacked into place, and we'll be right back. All right, so now that we got this part tacked down, we're going to go ahead and pull this down, and we're going to remove the stabilizer that's here, that's at the zipper or behind the zipper. And my stabilizer has little holes in it, so I just pretty much just go in there and take my seam ripper and just go right down there, and it just cuts the stabilizer really quick and easy. But make sure you don't cut the threads like I almost just did. So usually once I get that done, like I did, then I just go ahead and just tear the rest, because this stabilizer is very, very easy and thin, and it has tons of holes in it. Makes it a lot more easier to tear. Okay, and then we're going to fold this up and tack that into place, and we'll be back. All right, so went ahead and tacked this down after we took the stabilizer from behind the zipper. I'm going to take that out, and that was step 9. Step 10 was going to do another placement stitch for the next zipper, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but I went ahead and ran that anyway. So step 10, run another placement stitch for the zipper, for the next zipper, and then you're gonna put the zipper on there like we did the first one. And we're just gonna make sure that's in between the lines, and then I'll put that down with some painter's tape. And then the same thing as the first zipper, you want to make sure that both ends are outside the design. All right, so I'm just going to tape this one here. And then do the same over here. Okay. And make sure that's kind of even. These zippers don't seem even to me today. I'm not really sure. All right. Okay, so now that we did that, I'm gonna go ahead and put that back into the machine so we can get the zipper into place. I'll be right back. All right, so I got the zipper tacked into place. Now what you want to do is turn your hoop over and place your top lining piece right side down along the top edge of the zipper. So let's get the top lining. Let me see where my top lining is. Okay, so here's the top lining, 12 by 2.5. And what we're going to do is put it right side down along the top edge of the zipper, just like we did earlier. And we're gonna do that, and then later we're gonna fold it like that. So make sure. Okay. Now we're gonna turn it this way. All right, so get it lined up with that zipper. Like that. And again, secure it into place however you choose. I'm gonna use my flathead pins. And hopefully won't have no issues this time. My machine's been doing some really funky stuff today, and not really sure why. I don't really have hardly ever any problems with this machine, and today it's just giving me all types of problems. I don't understand what's going on today. Maybe today it's not meant for me to be in my office. And that happens some. Oh, I forgot to take my tape off here, didn't I? Yes, I did. Trying to put the pin through and not going through. So if you have that tape, you might want to take your tape off. All right. Okay. And if things are still a little confusing for you after you watch the video, feel free to shoot me a message or get me on Facebook. I'm in a Creative Medley's group, Kim Lowenstein, or you can look up Kim's Vinyl Expressions, and however you want, you can comment on the video, whatever you want to do, which is whatever is easier for you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we got that into place, and then we're going to turn the hoop back over and place your top front piece top, let's see, front piece. Where is it? Back outer, oh, top outer. Right in front of me. So we have the top outer 12 by 12 and a half again. And it has the interfacing on it. And we're going to go ahead and place that right side down along the top edge of the zipper, just like we did with the lining. Right, and do it just like that. And just make sure you have it right at the edge of the zipper. Okay, and I always just double check to make sure it has not moved and it's still where it needs to be, which it is. Now we're going to take this back to the machine and we're going to run step 12, which will have the front and the lining attached to the zipper just like we did before. And I shall be right back. Okay, so we got the next piece tacked down. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this liner here. We're not going to touch it. We're just going to leave it in place like we did earlier. And we're going to take this one and we're going to fold it down just like we did earlier, like so. And I try to keep it as tight as I can. And then tack it into place. Pin it into place. Oop, I'm gonna do it. Oh, it's a little loose. I don't like it that loose. And I try to put it as down to the end of the hoop as I can, so when it does the other stitches, it's not going to hit the pin. Oh, come on. Okay, and then I'll just put one over here. And the reason I'm putting 3 this time is because earlier I think the other one was just a little too loose. So this is going to do, I'm just going to tell you step 13, 14, and 15. Step 13, we'll do a top stitch, which is going to stitch here. Step 14 is going to do here and up here. And step 15 is going to do the motif like we did here. So I'm just going to do 13, 14, and 15, same as we did here. And I'll be back when I'm done. All right, so we got the motif done on this side. So now what we're going to do, we're going to turn to the back of the hoop and we're going to fold this liner down like we did earlier with the top, like that. And we're going to pin that into place. Okay, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the back of your top pocket. This is the back pocket, the 12 by 2 3/4. And just like we did with the bottom, we're going to place the top back piece right side down with the top edge lined up with the bottom of the top zipper. So it will look like that. Ooh. The zipper pull keeps going down. I'll put that back. So, yeah, make sure that's right. So we're going to do that so it covers the zipper. You want to make sure it's right on the line of the zipper. Okay, and then we're going to pin this into place. I try to make sure it's just like really good and snug. I don't like it moving at all. All right, so now that we got that, we're gonna go secure that into place. And it'll be covering from the bottom of the top of the zipper to the top of the hoop, just like we have here. So I'll go ahead and do that. One moment. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this tacked down, and there is no other material on the top that we're doing at this time. I'll be right back. So we got that tacked into place. So what we're going to do is the same thing that we did before. We're going to pull this down here, and we're going to remove the stabilizer from the zipper. And let me get my seam ripper. Okay, so like I said earlier, I usually just take my seam ripper, stick it in there, just go all the way down. Try not to rip the stitches on the end like I've done a few times. And okay, and then once I just do that, then I just rip the rest off. If you had a chance to look at my other video for a creative medley for the 2 zipper, this is almost just pretty much identical, except we're adding another zipper, and we're using interfacing instead of the batting. So now that we did that, we're going to pin this up in place just like we did here earlier. And we're going to tack those into place. So let me pin that up. And I'm actually going to put 2 more pins on here because earlier this was flopped down and it was sewn. So I had to take the seam ripper and open it and redo that. Sometimes I think I'm good and then I'm not. So just play safe. And you want to do it as close to the end of your hoop as you can, so you know that the stitches aren't going to go in there. So we'll go ahead and get that tacked down, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and did step 17 and 18. Step 17 was to tack this liner down, which I've done. I'm going to take my pins out because I don't need them in there anymore. And I'm going to take these out from here. And step 18 was another placement stitch for the next zipper. And as I said earlier, I'm using white thread so you can't see it, but it is there. So I'm going to take my final zipper and I'm going to tape that into place. And then step 19 will tack down the zipper. like that. And I gotta like really press down on that or it won't stick. But I'm also gonna put another piece in the middle because I noticed earlier these are longer than what I'm used to using for zippers. So I need to put another piece in the middle so it don't move. And that's not a big deal if the stitches go through it because the painter's tape is very, very easy to take out. So I don't really care so much about it. And okay. Just try to make sure that that's down good. Okay, so we're gonna go put this onto the machine and tack down this zipper and then we'll be right back. So we got the zipper tacked down. Gonna go ahead and remove my tape. And the one thing I like about painter's tape, if I have to use it, it just comes out from the stitching really easy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over and like that. And we're going to take your center lining, the 12 by 3.5. And there's 2 of them here, but we're going to use one right now. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to put this back on here. Okay, and then what we're going to do with this, we're going to attach it to the top of the zipper edge, just like we've been doing. And I can't see it, so I'm going to put it up to the light for a second. All right, so I have it on the edge of the zipper line, which is like right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and pin it into place. My zippers are getting in the way. Do it this way. Ay, ay. Well, I may have to try and tape this one because my zipper's getting in the way and I can't get my pin in there. Yeah, that's lined up. So I'm gonna get a different tape. One moment. Going to take this masking tape. Sometimes this works a little better. It's a little more stickier. And I'm just going to put a little bit outside of the design line there. I know it'll stick to the stabilizer pretty good. I don't use masking tape all that much, but I know it works a lot better than painter's tape. So, and since the zippers keep getting in the way, I'm just gonna use this. Okay, so now we're going to bring this back to the machine and we're gonna stitch out step 20, which will secure this into place. I'll be right back. So we went ahead and secured the lining. We are going to leave the lining where it is right now. We're not going to touch it. What we're gonna do next is, I did everything reversed and I didn't realize I did it until after the fact. So this is actually the bottom, not the top. So my stuff is actually gonna be upside down. And I got confused just because of my material, because of the design that had to be a certain way. So now that we got that that lining where it is, we're gonna just leave that in its place for now. We're gonna take one of our ribbons and we're gonna place it between the center and the bottom zipper, And like so, I believe, just like that. And it's a perfect size. It goes right from the bottom of the teeth to those teeth. So we're gonna secure that in place however you want. I'm gonna use tape for this because I think I'm gonna start having a problem adding my pins because my fingers are a little numb today. So I'm just going to use a little bit of tape there, and it's perfect fit. There's not even any space between the teeth, so that's good. So we'll go ahead and secure that into place. I'm actually going to put a piece in the middle as well, just for a little extra securement, like so. So this is gonna, the next step we're gonna do is step 21 and 22. Step 21 is gonna do a line across the top, and step 21 is going to do a line along the top of the ribbon, and step 22 is gonna do a line along the bottom of the ribbon. So that will secure that into place. So let's just go ahead and I'll get that tacked down. So we got the ribbon tacked down. I'm just going to take my tape off here since it's already coming off anyway. See, it doesn't really stick. But I do like that you can just tear it along the stitches and it just comes right off. I like that. All right, so that was step 21 and 22. And next we're going, let me just cut that off. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to turn your hoop over. Hold on 1 minute. Okay. Sorry, there was a big red spider on my window and I thought it was inside. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over. And we're going to fold this lining down that we taped in place earlier. Okay, we're going to do that. And we're going to put some pins into that. Just as close to the edge of the, ow! That hurt. As close to the edge of the hoop as you can, so the stitching doesn't hit the pins. Okay, make sure that's, I don't like it loose, so I'm just feeling for it, make sure there's nothing there. Okay, so we're gonna go put this back in the machine and we're going to stitch out step 23 that is going to tack that into place. Okay, so we're still on the back of the hoop and we got this tacked down, so I'm going to take my pins out now since I don't need them on this. And wow, I wound up sewing my pin anyway. It's just one little stitch, so I'm not worried about that. And it also cracked it, so I'm gonna throw this in the garbage. Nobody's perfect. Okay, so I'm not worried about that little stitch right now. This is gonna be mine anyway, so if there's any issues later, I can just fix it. So I'm just gonna go past it for now. So we're still on the back of the hoop. We do have another piece of center lining that we pre-cut. We needed 2 of these. Now we're gonna use the second one. And what we're going to do with this one is we're going to, and I cut this the wrong way, but that's okay. We're going to put this face down like we did earlier, and we're going to put it down along the edge of the center zipper so the fabric is facing the zipper just like we did earlier. And we're going to line that up right there. And my cut is a little off, but that's fine. So I'm going to use masking tape at this time. I'm going to tape this down because now with all those zippers in the front, I'm sure I'm going to have issues getting my pins in there, so I don't want to do that. Okay, so we got that. Now that's secured in place. We're going to take this back to the machine and we're going to stitch step number 24, which is going to secure the lining into place. So I got the lining and everything in place here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the second piece of ribbon and we're going to put it between the two zippers here, like that. And you can secure that in place however you want to do it. And I'm going to use my tape. Do one there. Do one this way. And I'm just gonna take a piece of painter's tape and put that down the center so it doesn't move, which I know it's not gonna stay anyway. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and I'm gonna stitch step number 25 and 26, which is gonna do a line just like we did with this along the top and the bottom. Okay, so we got this ribbon tacked down. Going to remove the tape. I like to remove the tape usually as soon as I'm done, unless I know I'm going to need it down for something later. But I don't, so I'm just going to take that tape off. Okay. So now we got both ribbons tacked down. That's cute. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to turn to the lining that we taped down before. I'm going to take the tape off here. And we're going to fold the lining up away from the zipper and secure it into place just like we did earlier. Hopefully I won't stitch one of these. See if I can do it up a little higher than I did before. And I'm just feeling for the top of the edge of my hoop. So hopefully, I'm gonna put the other two up a little higher this time, just in case. And just use your judgment, because you could have different hoops than I do. Okay. So we did that. Make sure that's not lumpy or bumpy. I don't like that. And then now we're going to take this back to the machine, and we're going to tack the lining into place, which is step number 27. Okay, so we got that liner tacked down. Remove my pins. Okay, so now this is done back here, and we're going to turn back to the front. And what we're going to do is now we're going to open the zippers about 3/4 of the way through. And just like that. Got a stitch over there. I thought I opened that already. You'll have to cut the stitching that went over your zipper so you can open it. I know I got it. It's still not opening. Oh, oops. That's fine. Yeah, there is, when the machine is tacking down your zippers, it puts on one side stitching over the zipper, so you need to make sure that you cut that before you open your zipper. Okay, so now that we did that, just please remember this is very, very important to open these zippers, because if you don't open them, your zipper pull, you won't be able to access it to open your bag. Yes, yeah, see, mine's just a little upside down. It's not a big deal. Give me 1 second. We're up to, I had to check my machine to see where I was because I forgot what step we were at. So we're going to do step 28 now, which is, there's 2 sets of placements and tack down stitches for the strap connectors. I ran out of D-rings and I did not realize it until I was halfway through the design. So what I did is I cut two pieces of ribbon. They're I did mine 2.5 inches. You can do them at 2. It's whatever you want to do. Because I ran out of the regular D-rings, I'm going to make this one a little different for the strap. And I'm going to use this for the connectors. And then later on, when I make the strap, I'll use just a regular one of these on the end of the strap, so I can just connect it through here. And I think that's kind of cool because I can make different straps for it if I want to. So we're going to head over to the machine, and I'm going to do the placement stitches for the connectors. Okay, so you're not going to see this, but I'm going to show you where it is. And it's all because I've been using white today, which I should have thought better and used maybe a different fabric with darker thread. But on this side, it did a placement stitch for your ribbon and D hook. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your ribbon, stick it through the D hook like that, and then you're going to take a piece of tape, and I'm going to use the masking tape for this one. Ow. Sorry, one moment. Okay, so I went ahead and put my hook inside that, folded the ribbon, And I just leave it a little separated there, like one higher than the other, so when I put the tape on, it'll stick to both of them and keep them in place. And when you tack this one down, you want to make sure, number one, that you have enough ribbon on the outside, so when you tack it down, it doesn't miss any of it. Because my very first bag that I made was one of these. I thought I did it right and I didn't. And after it tacked it down, it was the bottom part wasn't, the bottom piece of the ribbon wasn't tacked down all the way. So it just came off and I had to redo it. So you also want to make sure that your D-ring is facing towards the center of your bag. So that's going to be step 29 is to attach this one. Step 30 is going to do another placement stitch on this side here. And then step 31 is we're going to tack down that second one over here. So in the middle of this video, I decided I'm not going to use these, only because I did everything upside down. And that was my fault, because I wasn't thinking. I was thinking this was the top and that was the bottom. And I was just having a lot of issues with my machine today and I wasn't thinking. So, but that's what you would do. Placement stitch on top of the bag on this side, then tack down, then another placement stitch here and a tack down. If I do these right now, my bag's going to be upside down. And so I'm not going to use any connectors at this time. So I'm just going to take these off. But I just wanted to show you that. My next bag I make now, I remember that this is the bottom and not the top. But that was my own fault. And that's just for me not paying attention. So once you have your connectors on, double check again to make sure that your zippers are open. Because this is the last step you're going to be able to, this is going to be the last time you're going to be able to check to make sure those zippers are open. So what we're going to do, once your connectors are on and everything like that, and you get them connected, you're going to take your outer back fabric and you're going to put it right side down over the top of your hoop. This will be the back of your bag. So, back outer. So back outer, which is 12 by 8. And I'm going to put it that way to match what I already done. I know it's not going to be all the right. Yeah, so we'll go ahead, just one more time, right before step 32, make sure that your zippers are open. And I can't stress that enough, because I've forgotten to do it myself many, many, many times and wasted many, many materials. So this is very, very important. So we'll go ahead and just lay this down on top of the bag, just like that. And then we're going to do step 32, which is going to attach this. So we tack down the back outer piece, and now what we're going to do is turn the hoop over, and you're going to, let me see something here. All right, so I did forget, and I just realized to take this stabilizer out here. I didn't realize I forgot that, so I'm just going to do it now. It's not a big deal. I mean, I could have did it later if I caught it. I mean, when I caught it later on, and just do it from the inside of the bag while it's already stitched and done. So just going to do that. And I realized it because when I opened the zipper, I seen nothing but stabilizer. So I'm going to do that now. Take that off here. Okay, zipper's open. And Now what we're going to do is we're going to take your very last piece, which is the back lining, 12 by 8, and you're going to lay it down however you want to lay it down. Make sure it's covering the entire design. And then you want to tack this into place, but make sure that it is out. I would say just do it as close to the edge of your hoop as you can, because you want to make sure all your pins are outside the design area, because it's going to stitch all the way around and it's only going to leave a little spot open so we can turn it. So I'm just going to feel, let me get my other pins. I'll feel here for the edge of my hoop. Actually, I won't bring this down a little bit. I mean, I know I have enough, but so I'm gonna just feel for the edge of my hoop and pin this liner on. Okay, and then want to do the same for the bottom. And if you want to do the sides, you can. I don't, I'm gonna do the sides anyway, just to play safe, because sometimes I put stuff back on my hoop and the material flops over and I don't see it, so it's not a big deal however you want to do that. Okay, I'll just put one more in here. Okay, so now this is all pinned down into place. And one more time, check those zippers, make sure those zippers are open. Okay, so we're going to take this back to the machine. This is going to be the final steps. Step number 33 is going to attach everything. Let me see. And this should, my needle that I have in my machine should be good. But if you start skipping stitches or shredding thread, you may need to have a heavier needle. I'm using a 7511, which is pretty much what I always use, and I don't really have many problems, and I've done a lot thicker items than this. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in the machine and get the last step done. Okay, so we finally got everything tacked down, final stitch run, and I'm going to go ahead and take my my pins out of here. And remove it from the hoop. Move all my garbage out of the way. Make some room over here so I can finish doing what I needed to do. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut around. So you want to leave about a 1/2 inch margin. I mean, it's really up to you however you want to do it. I don't leave that much. Yeah, well, maybe a half or a little less. Well, let me just tear that out first. I always remove my stabilizer first. I don't know why. I just don't cut it with when I'm cutting around the design. Just habit for me, I guess. Just makes it easier for me to cut because my stabilizer is so big and I can see the fabrics without it. So, all right, so got that done. So we're just gonna start cutting around here. And don't cut it, like I said, so close to the ends because you don't want to risk it splitting later on. So I am just gonna, I think my scissors need to be sharpened. Let me get my other scissors. My favorite scissors, my knife scissors. I love these. I've had these for 2 years and haven't needed to sharpen them yet. And they're just as good as the day I bought them. But okay, cutting around there, and I'm gonna do this side first. And then I'll tell you why. And it doesn't matter if both sides are not equally cut the same width, because it's going to be on the inside anyway. I just love how this scissor cuts through layers. Look at all that. So now what we're going to do here, you want to leave a little more of the zipper than what we normally would, just so pulling it doesn't pull it through here. But I think we'll be fine doing like there. I've never had a problem with my zippers before on any design. I'm just telling you what her A Creative Medley instructions are, but she knows best because she created the design. So just go by her instructions as much as you can, especially if you don't have a lot of experience doing bags. But I think that's more than enough for what I need. And then the corners, which her instructions say, and I do that anyway, is to cut straight across them without cutting the stitching. It makes it a lot easier to poke them out. And here is the opening that's left there. That's just so we can turn it. So you want to turn this there. Shoot. Okay, I'm gonna do this anyway, but I messed up my inside. That's my fault. I don't know how I did it yet, but I don't want to, I just want to show you what's supposed to be done so I don't have to redo the video because it's a long video. But I made a boo-boo on my zipper, and that is my fault. But it's okay. It's okay. Mistakes happen. Everybody makes them. I'm sure you'll make it. Maybe not on this design, but on another design. Still have to figure out how I did that. So this is going to be something I need to redo so I can figure out why I did what I did. But I'll show you what I did. And then I have to figure out how I did it. So, hold on one second. See what I did there? Not sure how that happened. So that's something that I'm gonna have to figure out. So, but this is a liner. Your zipper's gonna be open. So then you just turn it again. Hold on. You can take a chopstick or something that you have to poke out the corners, but just make sure not to do it through the material. And that's why you want to cut your corners straight, so they'll pop out very easily. I gotta see what happened there. I don't know what happened. I'm sure, I mean, I know this isn't a design problem. This is something I did, and I think I realized what I did. But that's okay. I cut the stabilizer away before, but I know that wasn't the issue. Her instructions say to do it now, but like I said, that is not the issue why this happened. So while you're at this stage, you're going to fold this in like so, like that. And you can either do a ladder stitch or use fabric glue to close this up. And then you would do, you know, you would just fold it down like that, and you get the gist of it. And do that. Either, like I said, fabric glue or ladder stitch would work on that. Once that is done, then you could just go ahead and open your zipper, if it wasn't open all the way, and then turn this through. Today was just a big day for problems for me. I had a lot of problems with my machine today. Not sure why. Finally got that fixed, and then I messed up the bag. I will wind up doing another video on this. It'll probably be a few days or next week, because I'm going away this weekend. But I will redo this definitely, and post an update when I do. But everything is identical. Nothing, it will be different. Somehow my zipper just shredded off, and I'm not sure why. But if that was not the case, then you go ahead and turn this right side the right way now. Then you have your zippers here. You have your zipper here, and then you have your other zipper here. And please don't mind that I am going to fix that and redo this. So this is the way the bag would look completed, and with the D-rings, which I didn't realize I ran out of. I really thought I had them. And also doing this upside down, but nothing, even though I did it upside down, nothing's changed. Directions are still the same, and that's it for the bag. Just please don't pay attention to that. I have to figure that out. But that would be what the bag would look like. So then you'd have a pocket here, small pocket here. You'd have a small pocket here on the bottom. And then if the zipper was open, you have that big pocket there. So this is kind of neat. Can use it for like a little makeup case, put little lipsticks up in here, or eyeliners or whatever. And this pocket's really big, and I like that. But that is the design, and I do apologize about the zipper. I will go ahead and redo this video down the road, maybe about a week or so, and I'll post an update, and I'll post in the group that a new video was made for this. So that was how we made the 3-zipper bag. I'm really bummed about the zipper. I cannot figure out what happened to it, but this is the finished product, the finished design, as if the zipper was perfect. And it's pretty neat. I like it. I had it upside down as usual. That and that's the back. It's the same as the front. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and do another video probably next week when I get back from where I'm going, and it'll be a lot better than this one. I'm really bummed about this. I'm still having a hard time figuring out, because the rest of the fabric on the zipper is still there. The only thing that I can think of is when I took the seam ripper to get the stabilizer out, that I must have hit the zipper and didn't realize it. That can be the only thing that has done that. So I will not be using a seam ripper anymore. I've always used it, never had an issue, but there's always a first time for everything. And I guess today was just that day. So if you have any questions, comment on the video. You can get me on Facebook at Kim's Vinyl Expressions, or you can look up Kim Lowenstein. I'm also in a Creative Medleys group. So there's a lot of ways you can reach me, and I'll answer any questions that you have. Subscribe to my channel. Keep updated with new videos that I'll have coming soon. I have a few on my calendar, and if there's any videos that you would like from a certain designer, let me know if they don't have a video for it, and I'll reach out to them and see if they would like me to do one for them. And I hope to see you soon. And I'm sorry about this, but it's the directions are all the same. It's just a judgment that I made. So all right, so please, like I said, subscribe to my channel, share it, keep updated on other videos that I have coming, and I hope to see you soon. Have a good day.